Once upon a time, at the edge of a not-too-spooky enchanted forest, there lived a bright, brave girl whose favorite thing in the world was a red velvet hood her grandmother had sewn. It felt like a tiny bit of magic on her shoulders. Everyone called her Little Red Riding Hood, and she loved it. One sunny morning, Red's mother filled a basket with warm bread, sweet berry jam, and a little jar of golden honey that glowed like the sun. "Darling, Grandma's feeling poorly. Take this to her, and please stay on the path." "I will. Straight path, no chatting with strangers, no dawdling," said Red, repeating the rules like a song. She tucked the basket into the crook of her arm, lifted her chin, and set off.
Just breathe.
The forest was bright and busy. Birds tossed songs back and forth. Squirrels carried treasures in their tiny hands. Patches of wildflowers waved like they already knew Red's name. "I can do this," Red told herself, brave and careful. She kept a steady pace until a shadow slipped from behind a tree and turned into a tall, gray wolf with very polite eyebrows.
I've brought you this basket of
"Well now, what a fine morning for a stroll," he said, tipping his head as if he wore an invisible hat. "Where might a little traveler in such a splendid hood be going?" "To my grandmother's cottage at the end of the path," said Red. "She's not feeling well. I'm bringing her a treat." "How thoughtful," the wolf purred. "Why, the path is terribly plain. Over there is a scenic route. Flowers, butterflies, sunshine. You could pick a bouquet. Grandmothers adore flowers." Red hesitated. Mama said no detours, but Grandma would love flowers. A little bouquet couldn't hurt, right? "Thank you, Mr. Wolf," she said, because she was polite. "I'll just pick a few and hurry right back." Of course," said the wolf with a smile that showed just a few too many teeth. "Take your time." The moment Red stepped among the daisies, the wolf whisked into the trees, swift as a shadow and quiet as falling snow. "Time to pay Granny a visit," he murmured, racing along a shortcut only a wolf would know. He reached the cottage first and knocked gently. The door creaked open. "Red, dear?" called Grandma from her bed. "Not Red," said the wolf, clearing his throat and trying on a sugary voice. "Just a neighbor, bringing good wishes." Grandma peered over her spectacles and narrowed her eyes. She was no fool, and she knew that voice didn't belong to anyone she'd ever had over for tea. My, she said, swinging open the wardrobe. "Perhaps, neighbor, you could fetch a glass of water. I'll just put my shawl on." By the time the wolf turned around, the wardrobe door clicked shut, and Grandma was tucked safely inside, hidden among lavender-scented scarves. The wolf slipped into her nightcap, plumped the pillows, and snuggled under the quilt. He felt quite pleased with his plan. Meanwhile, Red gathered daisies and buttercups, and then, with a small twist in her stomach, realized the sun had moved farther than she meant it to. "Oh no, I've dawdled," she whispered. "Back to the path, Red." She tucked the bouquet into the basket and hurried to Grandma's cottage. When she arrived, it was unusually quiet. No kettle singing, no creak of rocking chair. The curtains were drawn, and the room was dim. A little sleepy, a little strange. "Grandma, it's me, Red," she called softly. "Come closer, my dear," croaked a voice from the bed.
Yes, dear. Come
Red
closer.
stepped nearer. Someone lay there under the quilt in Grandma's cap. But something didn't sit right in Red's chest. She felt the prickle of wrongness, like a chilly breeze under a door. "Grandma, are you feeling all right?" "Never better, dear heart," began the wolf, forgetting himself entirely. "You're not my grandma," Red gasped, and stepped back so fast the quilt slipped, and the wolf's ears sprang forward like umbrellas. He lunged, but Red was quicker. She whipped open her basket, grabbed the honey jar, and plop, sploosh, smeared honey right across the wolf's snout. Sticky gold dripped down his whiskers. "Yow! My nose! My very distinguished nose!" the wolf yelped, blinking honey away. "Help!" Red called, voice strong and clear. "Help!" Not far away, a kind woodcutter was stacking neat bundles of logs. At Red's cry, he dropped his bundle and ran. "Hold on, I'm coming." He burst through the door and took in the scene. A honey-dripping wolf tangled in a quilt, a determined little girl in a red hood, and a suspiciously rattling wardrobe. "Step away from the girl," said the woodcutter, calm as a mountain. "Out you go." The wolf tried to growl, but the honey made his jaws stick together. His growl came out like a squeaky door. Red darted to the window and flung it wide. Together, she and the woodcutter clapped, stomped, and shooed like a pair of stormy geese. Flustered, sticky, and entirely disgraced, the wolf tumbled out the window, skittered over the garden stones, and galloped into the trees. He paused only long enough to sneeze out a buttercup and mutter, "I need a new hobby," before disappearing down a long, sensible path that led far away from Grandma's lane.
Come on out now, little
Red and the woodcutter stood very still. Then the wardrobe door creaked open, and Grandma stepped out, adjusting her spectacles and her courage. "My dear child, are you all right?" "Grandma!" cried Red, flying into her arms. "I was so scared. I made a mistake. I left the path. I thought flowers would make you smile." "They do," said Grandma, smiling anyway, "but not as much as seeing you safe. And I'm proud of you for calling for help and keeping your wits. That was a very clever use of honey." The woodcutter rubbed his beard, beaming. "Brave and resourceful. That's a powerful pair."
Are you all right, dear?
They set the kettle on and opened the windows to let in fresh, green-smelling air. Red fetched the bread and jam. Grandma found clean napkins. The three of them shared a small feast and laughed until the room felt like itself again. When the woodcutter stood to go, Grandma pressed a roll into his hand. "For your kindness," she said. "And I'll keep watch on the forest paths," he promised. "But I have a feeling our honey-nosed friend won't be back anytime soon." On the walk home, Red held her mother's hand and told the whole story from beginning to end, not skipping the parts she wished she could erase. "I thought I was being kind," she said, "but I forgot that being kind to you also means listening. Being brave means being careful, too." Her mother hugged her close. "We all make mistakes, my love. What matters is what we learn and how we make things right." Red nodded. "Next time, I'll keep to the path. And if a wolf with polite eyebrows tries to give me directions, I'll say, 'No, thank you.'" As for the wolf, the honey stuck to his whiskers for 3 whole days. Birds giggled. Rabbits pointed. Every time he went to say good morning, his mouth went, "Mmm." After that, he kept a respectful distance from cottages and grandmothers. And if he ever felt sneaky again, he remembered how sticky bad choices can be, and chose a better way. Grandma recovered quickly, with warm tea, sunshine, and a granddaughter's laughter. Red visited often, always on the path, always with a song in her steps. And the enchanted forest seemed just a little brighter for it, as if the trees themselves approved. From that day forward, Little Red was known not just for her red velvet hood, but for her courage and her cleverness. She had learned that hearts can be brave and wise at the very same time. That kindness is stronger when it walks hand in hand with care. And that calling for help is another kind of courage. And in that small village by the enchanted woods, they all lived safely, warmly, and well, ever after.